Hello, my name is Paula Rivera. I am the president of the SCA. These are the other officers: Kathy Sharon, Stephanie Hall, and Emily Askin. Today we'll take you on a tour of Westlawn Elementary School.
So what I was wondering when I was looking through the lids, and Cesar asked the question already, he was wondering which container has the most. Do we have more white lids? Do we have more metal lids? Or do we have more red lids?
Miss McLaughlin, what did you do in your first grade class today?
We did a math activity using our lid collection. With this activity, we chose lids with the same characteristics to graph. The children chose, they wanted to know whether the red lids, the white lids, or the metal lids, which group would have the most in them and which would have the least. So we sorted them out, and then the children counted them by grouping them in fives and then counted by fives to find out which set would have the most.
Why didn't your class go to their own desk and figure it out by themselves?
With young children, they learn much better if you deal with real objects first. So that's what I was trying to do. Start with real, then move to pictures, and then move to symbols. And then later on, they'll be ready for the pencil and paper stuff. But at this point, it's much more meaningful to them if we do things that they are interested in, like their lid collection, and just apply that to other math situations. How many are in that row? 4. There are 4, so that one needs 1. Let's check our rows to make sure there's 5. Oh, here's another one.
56.
So it makes that even. We should have the same. Let's count them one more time to make sure.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 55,
40, 45, 50, 55.
56, 57, 58, 50.
Okay, you hit the trogulator whenever you make your equation.
I'm gonna say 5
Hit
plus
the
5.
trogulator.
It's moving around, yeah, you can't tell.
Okay,
Then you gotta start over.
Right.
Because it goes back to that
and your score is down there, and then
There'll be triangles around here.
Me.
Miss Jones, what was taking place in your 6th grade classroom today?
we were having math centers today. We just concluded a unit on graphing, and we were doing a unit on money, and we did some things in technology, and we're planning our menus. We're going to learn about tax and tip and subtotals and totals.
Why don't you have your class just work on one subject during the day?
I do that sometimes. I often introduce it that way, but this was a concluding activity, so I had a variety of activities going on for cooperative groups, and they're helping each other, and I think that's more beneficial than having me stand up and lecture. Busiest air terminal in the world. So look at the bar graph. Which one is it? O'Hara, right. So now look at what kind of graph is this?
You want them all?
Right. It's also got some pictures too.
Sister, a brother, and a father. They live in Miss Herzog. You're reading buddies, right? What's going on?
We've been working with our reading buddies at this particular time to assist us with research. This is the first exposure for second graders to working with reference books. In Mrs. Rooney's class, the fifth graders had also been doing research and using note cards and formulating that into a report on the rainforest animals. So they then in turn helped us with a simplified form where they could make notes and then formulate sentences about their endangered animals.
Why do you have the upper grade students help the younger grade students?
Well, I think most of all, they enjoy sharing with the older students who they look up to and admire. And they also shared that they learned an awful lot from the fifth graders about some of the animals of the rainforest. And it just helps everybody to know that we can assist one another and help one another and get a lot of pleasure out of it.
That means they're not related. Okay. Now, right, Cheetos? right? She doesn't hear. No, try it. C, S, P, O, H.
What kind of question, Nathan?
On my own.
On my own. So you would be able to answer this question without reading this? Okay. Based on what you've read and your own experience, you can come up with the answer? Or is it a...
Miss Morton, what was going on in class today?
We were working on reading strategy, and the strategy that we were working on is called QAR. We were talking about questions and answers, and what I was trying to get my class to understand is that when they're reading, and they need to be thinking about all kinds of questions that they have about the topic that they're reading about, but also they need to be able to understand and know when the answer to a question is in the text that they're reading and when the answer's not there. So we were talking about 4 types of questions. One type is the right there question, think and search, the author and me, and on my own. A right there question is the kind of question that the kids can find the answer right there in the text. The think and search, they will have to take different parts of the text that they're reading and put together the information and then come up with the answer to the question. The author and me type of question, the answer is not in the book, but based on what they've read and the child's own experiences, they can put the information together and come up with an answer to the question. And the last type of question is the on my own question. This is the type of question that you really don't have to read what's in the text to be able to answer the question.
Hi, I'm Woodrow Wilson from the book Encyclopedia of Presidents by Alice Osinski. It all starts out in 1856 in Staunton, Virginia. That was the year I, Thomas Woodrow Wilson, was brought into this world. When I was growing up, we did a lot of moving.
Miss Hollis, what was taking place in your 4th grade classroom today?
Well, today we were doing character studies. The children in my room have made papier-mâché bottle people, and as a activity to go along with the reading response, so they were doing in character each of the characters from the book.
That's it. Any questions?
Why didn't you just have the kids write a report of what they learned instead of making those little people?
Well, sometimes we do just write reports, but we're always looking for interesting ways to take in how the children talk about their reading. So as a class, we decided it'd be really fun to do characters, so we made the bottle people. We used some of the things we learned in art with paper mache, and then we learned stitchery, so we made their own clothing. And it was just an extension of a reading activity that the children really got involved with, and I think they did a really wonderful job.
Soon I found a boy named Keith who owned the motorcycle. Keith taught me how to ride it and gave me a little crash helmet. Any questions?
What was the helmet made out of?
A half of a ping pong ball and a rubber band.
Do the students always have a chance to ask questions?
Yes, we always take and discuss whatever we're talking about, and then it's open up to questions in the classroom so that it extends and it shows that the children that have read the book not only prepare just a little bit, but actually have read the book in depth and can actually give you some more information than what's in front of them.
And are there any other questions?
Our photos we don't like, said Mom. What was taking place in your classroom today, Miss West?
Well, actually, it was our reading workshop, which is a lot of different activities. The first part was the book basket time, and that's where children read their book baskets individually, and then they read them to a partner. And the point of this is they're revisiting the text and constantly keeping up on the reading of all the books that they're getting new every week. The second part was the center time, which is to allow children to have different kinds of exposure to all different kinds of reading. There were children working on the computer on a program called Bailey's Book House, using different phonics and rhyming techniques. Certain children were using the listening center and revisiting books that we've been reading about. Other children were using the overhead projector to revisit some of the larger stories that we've all done as a class, and other children were playing word games, phonics games, that kind of thing. And all during this time, during the book basket time and during center time, I am pulling children individually to assess how they're doing in their reading and working on individual reading strategies with those children. And lastly, the last part of it was a whole group lesson, the shared reading, in which we're focusing on how to write better stories, to know the characters in the story, a problem, a solution, and a setting. And so we were reading a book called The Fox and the Little Red Hen, and the children were telling me all of the different elements as a story so that they can hopefully write their own stories. Where is the setting? The setting is where the story takes place. Where is the setting, Zinnia?
In the woods.
Very good. In the woods.
When you were listening to the students read, you were putting checks on a list. What was that all about?
That's a technique that we use for assessment called running records, and that is a technique that all first grade teachers use in the 15-to-1 classroom. And you are taking an actual record of every word that a child is reading, so that if they may say the word hop instead of jump, I would write hop for jump, so that when I look back on my record, I know what kind of strategies the child is using when they're reading, so that I know how to look at that and really take a close analysis of that, and that I can help them to use the strategies that they need.
The farmer scared the pigs. The farmer scared the cows. The farmer didn't.
Nothing can bother our picnic here. Is that true? Nothing can bother your picnic? Well, it's your turn.
Matter. 10 little men.
Well, it's your turn.
10 what? Little men.
10 little men.
Mrs. L., what's the Senior Reading Buddy program?
About every other week, the seniors from Lewinsville Day Center come over and they read with our first grade children, and they're paired up about 2 first graders per every senior, and our first graders get to read to them.
Miss Lewis, why do you have a program like this?
We have this program to both benefit the seniors and the first graders. It really, in terms of any reading experience that we can give the first graders, whether it's, one-on-one with the teacher or with the senior reading buddies, it's beneficial. And also for the seniors, I think it adds a little brightness to their day to come and see the smiling kids who are so enthusiastic and looking forward to reading with them.
Again. Ha 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 ha. The people go away, the wolf comes.
What do you say? Let's take a break from all this studying and head to the gym for an assembly.
Smith. Why is the program only for kindergarten through 3rd grade kids?
Several years ago, we had decided that we were doing so many programs for the older children, And we did the jump rope for hard for the older kids and several of the faculty versus the 6th grade students. And so what we did, we decided we'd have a program just for the little kids all by themselves.
Do you integrate music and PE every year?
One of the parameters of the physical education program is music and dance and rhythms. And since Ms. Pittman, our music teacher, does so much of that, and we thought we'd put it all together and come up with a program. So yes, we do. Every year we do something together.
Mr. Howe, do all the kids get to participate in the program?
Yes, Paul, all the kids do get to participate. We do a morning program, so all the kids in the classrooms can come and perform for the whole school, and then we do the program again at night where a lot more of the parents and families can attend.
Is the program any different this year from last year?
Yes, we try to make some changes every year. I think this year we have about 8 different dances from last year, and we try to, keep current. Our grand finale dance this year is the Macarena, so we try to keep current with dances like that.
This week we're selling SCA Valentines to raise money for our school. Ms. Thompson, since you're the SCA sponsor, can you tell us a little bit more about other projects?
Yes, Paula. This year we've done several projects at Westlawn. The first one we did was our student council officer election, and we had a mock election that was done on computers with ballots, a very realistic election. Our next project was a canned food drive to help people in our community, and the students did a wonderful job with that, collecting over 3,000 cans that we gave to Salvation Army. In December, we focused on gift giving and our special gift of reading, and each student wrote a response to why they feel reading is a gift. And then we had a big read-in all throughout Westlawn. And now we're working on the Valentine sale, and we hope to raise funds to give back to the school and to provide funds for the SCA to operate.
How will these funds be used?
I don't think we've decided completely this year. In the past, we've given money for the maintenance of our courtyard and to buy books for the library. And I think we'll do a similar project this year with it.
Good morning, and welcome from Station WEST. My name is Danielle Garrett, and today is Thursday, February 6th. Would you please stand for the pledge to the flag?
When was the TV station WEST started at Westlawn?
WEST was started in 1995-96 as part of the SCA, and this year it was moved away from the SCA and started as a separate committee with 4 teachers sponsoring the TV station.
Who does the broadcast?
We try to involve 6th graders first and then pick up 5th graders to be anchors, and then also special TV people that will be doing special features as part of our TV station.
What things are broadcast on the station?
We try to do a variety. Right now, we have some basic features that we're doing, such as weather, menu, things that we do every week. We then have special features, and we try to showcase work that is happening in the classrooms throughout our school or individual students. We also cooperate with the SCA.
Thank you for watching WEST and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Welcome to Peer Mediation. My name is Denise Bernard. My name is Henry. What are your names?
My name is Hong Pham.
Whitney Cron. We'd like to discuss a few basic rules we use in peer mediation, and they are no interrupting, no physical fighting, swearing, threatening, or name-calling, and we try to agree to solve your problem.
Miss Lawrence, what is peer mediation?
Peer mediation is a program that we have in the schools which helps boys and girls solve problems in a way where both come out winners, and it's a conflict resolution program.
Why do we have peer mediation?
Well, we have peer mediation to help kids, boys and girls, solve their conflicts in a peaceful way, and it also teaches skills to resolve problems that they have outside of the school as well as in the school.
Well, how does peer mediation work?
Peer mediators are trained in communication skills, and then boys and girls refer themselves to the mediation team, and we meet and the children work together to resolve their conflict. We don't have a judge. Nobody decides who's right and who's wrong. It's a program that helps kids resolve problems in a win-win situation.
I want it on the screen and place it wherever I want it to be. To place it there, all I have to do is click outside. Now, let's say I didn't want it there and I wanted to change it. I could reselect it and then move it around.
Ms. Calderella, what were you showing your students on the computer today?
I was showing them two different things. The first thing that I was showing them was how to scan images into their writing or multimedia presentations that they're working on. And the other thing that I showed them was how to animate text or graphics in their multimedia presentations using HyperStudio.
What are the other ways that students here at Westlawn are using the computer for?
They're using the computers for many different reasons. They're creating spreadsheets and databases in some classes. They're using living books to have text read to them or revisit text. They are using the internet to do research or email pen pals. They are using educational simulation games that correlate with their social studies curriculum.
Hi, I'm Ross Mallinger. Welcome to the animated tale of Peter and the Wolf. The composer, Sergei Prokofiev, created Peter and the Wolf to show how music can tell a story. Each character is played by a different musical instrument. Miss Pittman, today the kids in your class were not playing instruments. They were watching a video screen. What was going on?
I had a group of second graders that were looking at a computer software package. It's a CD-ROM called Peter and the Wolf. And they were exploring the different instruments of the orchestra and how each instrument represents the different characters in Peter and the Wolf.
Couldn't you just hold up a picture and play the record at the same time?
Sure, I could do that. In fact, I did that for many years, but short of having people actually come into the classroom and play the instruments, I think using the CD-ROM with the presentation kit so it goes up on a TV screen is probably the best way to show the children the instruments, because they can see them being played and hear the sound of the instrument at the same time. We have some very nice speakers, so the sound reproduction is very good, and it's better than a videotape of the instruments because we can go back and replay things very easily.
You can remember how to find today's weather in Washington, D.C.
Sure. What were you doing in the library today?
Today in the library I had a group of 4th grade students, and we were working on the internet. We were using the site, the weather site, CNN Weather, to locate information using a search engine.
Ms. Noonan, what's an ESL teacher?
An ESL teacher is an English as a second language teacher, and I help children that are learning English as their second language, and in some cases English is their 3rd and 4th language. I help them learn English from the very beginning. I also help those students that have had some English background but need some assistance in becoming more proficient in English to be able to work at a higher level in English.
Were all the students in your group with the same English speaking ability?
So this was a mixed group of students. I have a couple of students that have very little English, and then some that are really quite proficient and really almost at the level where they can work solely in their classroom. But I have them grouped working together so that they can help and assist each other to learn the computer skills that they need.
Ms. Duhas, what is the tutoring program about?
The tutoring program is for kids to receive some help with their homework and with math skills and with language arts skills. And we meet on Thursdays in the afternoons right after school for an hour, and different children come back on Thursday evenings for the evening session from 7 until 8 o'clock.
Who are the tutors?
The tutors are all kinds of people. We have some parents are tutors. We have 5 parents who are tutoring right now. There are 10 teachers who stay after school and do some tutoring in the after-school session. We have 10 high school students, and then we have 24 other people from the community who do not have children in the school, who do not have any tie to the school at all except through this program.
As you go through the halls of our school, what you've seen and what is there is due to the hard and collaborative work of our staff and our students together. We have a very collaborative and caring staff that have developed a school plan which focuses on reading comprehension for children and math problem solving. Technology is woven into every area of Westlawn. Our school has a partnership with the home, the community, and the school are all involved in the partnership to enhance student education. We certainly want to thank our business partner, Hewlett-Packard, for providing us with technology that enhances our school plan and helps us to understand and appreciate the corporate world. Our community is a very important part of Westlawn. Our parents serve on many different committees, including our collaborative team, our teach team, which makes all the decisions about instruction and formulates our school plan. Our parents serve on the Hewlett-Packard committee. They're very active as far as volunteering. And also our PTA is supportive and enhances all the things that we do here. Our students at Westlawn learn many, many things. Those are all covered within the curriculum areas. And I think they learn it well. But they also learn respect and responsibility and being nice to each other and caring about each other. If you were to sum up Westlawn, I think you would say it's a very caring atmosphere. The children care about each other. The teachers care about the children. I certainly care about the children. Everyone is trying to have each child, to give each child the tools to reach their potential, to do the very best that they can do, and to be that outstanding citizen no matter what field that they choose.